Drop them updates.
All right. All righty. We're gonna go live. We're doing it live.
Yo.
Unable to access Facebook account. Try again.
Oh,
That's fine.
technology. They never play fair.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm not even about to do that. I can see somebody, how about, is that nigga eating a glizzy glover on Facebook Live? I'm like, I'm eating a chicken sausage, big. But all right.
This is episode 39, believe it or not. That's crazy, right?
We made it. We made it.
That's crazy.
A lot of cats don't even get one season. We still banging.
Yeah, technically,
this is what they call self-made.
Technically, this is season 2. This is true.
Better call Netflix. Be like, hey man, you need to come pick this up. It's hot.
Oh my God, can you imagine what that check will look like? Theo, what's your socials again? You only have what do you active on Instagram?
No, I'm primarily active on Facebook, but I'm about to get active on Instagram. But it's Urban Waves either way, like on both sides. Like Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, anywhere you'd find me. I mean, even if I don't look active, I still communicate. Somebody reach out to me, I respond. Unless it's some bullshit. Let me stop.
Urban Waves. And what's the Facebook?
Same, Urban Waves with the Z. You had to get them handles together. Make sure your handles are together. All part of that social communication.
Mm-hmm. And you want to go by Urban Waves, right? You want to be sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool.
Like in the offices, I'm known as the Aqua Smacky. In the streets, no, stop.
You might have something in the streets. You are a PK, so I wouldn't be surprised at all.
I left those type of lifestyles, behaviors, and all types of mannerisms alone many, many years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, now I just live vicariously. Now I just live vicariously through music.
Sure, you have. All right, let's go ahead and get started. What's going on, everybody? It's your man Hanz Nobe, music producer, co-founder of the music production company Room 380, here with our project manager, A&R, Urban Waves. What's good?
Yes, sir. Living life.
And today we're going to dive right into it, which is the importance of communication. Now, a video of mine is, I'm noticing you guys are definitely paying attention to the TikToks, because every so often lately in the past couple of weeks, someone will pull up a video from like one of my old TikToks or even one of my old YouTube videos and say, yeah, man, that definitely needs to be talked about a bit more. So one, I appreciate you guys even pay attention to that content enough to even say, hey, you may want to touch base on this. So I definitely appreciate it. But one of the videos that was I can't remember what year was this. This had, I guess it was 2020. In where I discussed the importance of communication, but I kind of want to dive deep into it now today, because I feel like more than ever, communication has gotten lost in the sense of like why it needs to be discussed. So let me tell you a weird story. So I have this video in my drafts on TikTok, and I'm not sure I'm going to post it, but this was an actual event. This is something that actually happened. So, Theo, you've been to South by Southwest plenty of times, right? So there was this one event going on, and I guess the gentleman that I just spoke to wanted to build a little faster. So me and him were talking, we're chopping it up or whatever. And then I lead that event and then I go to another one. And you've been at a festival before like that, where you walk out and then, maybe 2 or 3 events later, you run into the same person. Oh, that's crazy. You want to go see whoever, right? So the guy comes up to me. He says, "Hey man, how you doing?" I said, I'm good. I'm good, just sitting here watching this band or whatever. He says, Cool, cool. So how's your mom? I said, "Excuse me?"
Right.
He said, "How's your mom?"
Oh, you really asking me this?
I said, "Bro, we just met. Why are you asking me about my mother?" "Oh, no, I just, I'm just trying to build." And I said, "Okay, got it. Well, look, listen, fam.
Wrong
I'm
foundation.
gonna go over here, lose my number. I'm gonna block you on Twitter." And I did. And I was like, "Yeah, fam, I'm good on this." I kind of want to dive into that, why that happened. Now, granted, this person probably was socially awkward. That is definitely a possibility. I'll give you that. I also think the other part is the whole building phase and what it really means. So I want to dive into why you should build, but I also want to dive into why I think this guy did this. In his mind, because he wanted something out of me. See, this was 2014. So I'm making that transition to like full-time music producer. And so I think he wanted some beats. Keep in mind, like, I wasn't taking sessions just yet. I didn't start taking sessions for real until the summer, but I get it. He's looking for a music producer. It's totally fine. But I think what the issue was in his mind goes, if I can cut through these corners quickly and build quickly, then I can get what I want. And this is something that a lot of people notice and a lot of people experience. Since why we go to these events or these festivals, it's why it's a lot of tension and social awkwardness, is because no one wants to say what they really want to say up front, right? So it's one of those things that I'm very aware of, and it's the reason why it's so easy for me to network with people, is because like I genuinely do want to know about you, because I'm not thinking about what's in it for myself. I'm thinking about what's in it for you.
Add value.
Because if I turn the lens the other way, then I start asking you questions, and then I can go, "Oh no, you're a little crazy. I may not even want to work with you." And so with that, I kind of want to dive into that. So wait, can you tell us a situation where something like that happened to you?
I mean, I can tell you, I've been to interesting local events and situations have come up like that. Not anything to the extreme with regards to how's your mom. I mean, at that point, I'm gonna just look at you and walk away. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
He really asked that, fam.
Conversation's dead.
He really asked that. He was just like, "Yo, how's your site, fam? We literally just met like 2 hours ago. You can stop."
But I can tell you. So a lot of people know me from a music business standpoint, so they'll ask me a lot of different questions. And then that one awkward situation always comes up. Well, how much do you charge, or what's it look like with this? It is always that awkward pause when you know you're about to say a price that this don't look like it's going to be a favorable situation for them because they don't have that budget situation, and you just like,
so can we dive into that? Can we dive into that? Okay. So let's try to get some value here, right? Which is, unfortunately, a buzzword. And if you know anything about me, I hate buzzwords. I hate buzzwords. I hate this new thing where people find like mental health is now is a buzzword, and it shouldn't, but here we are. But I want to dive into that just a bit more. If you know you don't have a budget, then the mindset again shouldn't be what's in it for me. It should be what's in it for you. The whole reason why you even try to take on an internship is that you have nothing to offer the studio. You have nothing to offer the label. You have nothing to offer the artist or this management group or the agency or wherever else that you're trying to get in.
But you got everything to gain.
Right. So in this instance, why is it important to have, from your side, why is it important to network and have that mentality Like, what's your insights on that?
So I'll be honest with you. When people network, you got to be careful about that whole building circumstance. You got to kind of know who you're dealing with. Because even in the interest of building, quote unquote, trying to say, well, what's your hobbies? What do you like to do? If a person's in a headspace where, hey, I'm just looking to get the conversation in, I know what I'm looking for, I just need to find the person, it's better to just come straight out. And when you say add value, say, hi, I'm such and such. I do such and such. Because that in itself is building foundation. You are telling them what you do, which provides them with insight on what value you can present to them. That's
Right.
one side of the situation. Now, if you're just in a casual space, then yes, you could definitely be like, well, hey, yeah, so you do such and such. Well, what brought you into that? Or what else do you like to do? Do you get into gaming, et cetera, et cetera? You just got to kind of judge your circumstances and kind of know the atmosphere. Because, like we had talked about before with market spaces, depending on the market space you're in, will make a determination on the type of conversations you're having. You got to really know what you're walking into because not every situation is going to be the same. So when it comes to network, you have to be fluid, so to speak.
Yeah. So the reason why I like that approach is because it takes the pressure off of you. If you are an artist and you don't have a budget, it, as Waves was saying, you have everything to gain. If I know that I don't have a single dollar to my name, but I am looking for a videographer, and you say, oh yeah, I've shot stuff for Miguel or whomever else, then if you take it and go, oh, okay, cool, and let me get your contact information and think, okay, well, there was at one time I worked on Final Cut Pro. Hey, do you need like an assistant editor? Do you need anything like that? Now, I want to insert something here, right? Because I've noticed with this type of content that people, when you give out advice like this, people can sort of go left with it. So I don't want to say, because someone can easily say, well, isn't that the same thing? The only difference is you're just providing value to get something out. I would say, if you have that mindset, you've already lost. What I'm saying is, if you want to get in the game, provide the value first and don't expect anything in return. Case in point, I'll give myself an example, right? My first, well, I didn't really get anything out of Captiva, but the first internship that I had, yeah, I guess the first, like the one that opened up the doors was Penthouse, was Terminus Studios. That's what got me to Penthouse and got me part of the Penthouse crew that got me everything that you saw while I was in New York. When I went in there, I didn't go in there with the expectation of, oh, let me be here. And then, if I can, get my name in somewhere, then, that's what I'm looking to do. I went in there with the intention of trying to learn. And so when Andrew Koss and his manager, Chris, were in the room, there was never this, hey guys, you need help with something? Cause like I can do this and da. It was like, hey, I'm here. I'm going to be cleaning the B room. If y'all need something, I'm here. I've already said, hey, if you guys need anything, let me know. I'm going to be here with a broom and a dustpan trying to figure out why there's this funny smell coming in here. And if y'all need something, cool. So when I did get the call to, hey, can you guys go down? It was me and this other guy from, I think it's from Portugal. And we went down to the CVS off of 6th Avenue and 48th or whatever. Is that over there? I can't remember. But anyway, we went and got a speaker because one of the young ladies that sings the vocals for the Game of Thrones soundtrack wanted to shoot a music video, but they needed a speaker optics. We went, we got it. Oh, hey, this is such and such. Okay, cool. Hey, how you doing? If you need anything, let me know. And I went on by my merry way because there was no pressure. And that's the thing I want you guys to understand. Because there was no pressure of, hey, I'm here doing this. Can you give me something back? I was easier to work with than someone else coming in trying to extract something, right? So it's kind of like the whole. I said it before. There's something called the Law of Reciprocity, which is if you give something first, more than likely you'll get something back. There was a case study that happened where there was this kiosk, and if you've ever been to a mall, for all our American followers, it's very hard to sell stuff from a kiosk. Like, fam, I went in here to try to go to the Apple store. I'm trying to go here. I'm going to the food court, and then I'm out. I'm not trying to get your soaps and your oils. I'm not even trying to hear that. Well, they had one kiosk where the guy would say, "Hi, here's a Coke," and then it was a small bottle of Coke. Hey, here's a Coke. Bam. If you need anything, let me know. Hey, I'm such and such. Here's a Coke. He's making an introduction. Here's a Coke. Hey, how's it going? Here's a Coke. And what happened was people would get the Coke and go,
"What's this about?
All right, what are you selling?" Oh, well, hey, I'm da, 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 da. And so because they did that, the people more receptible to the information. Now, if you really want to take it up a notch because I think one day we're going to talk about how artists need sales skills, how me learning a bit of sales has helped me in my business. If you approach it like that, and then you really want to turn it up a notch and say, okay, cool, well, listen, I'm going to educate you on what this is. It takes the pressure off of trying to close, right? So put that in the sense of you're at South by Southwest, you meet this videographer. Hey, if you need something, let me know, and then you go about your merry way. No one wants to feel the pressure of like, yo, fam, every time I invite you in here, I know you need something. You're good, but every time I know I got to give you something. If you go like, hey, I don't need it, it's kind of like dating, right? But it's true though. What up, TJ Foster? What up, T Jizzle? But it's true though. The man that walks into the room acting like he doesn't need anything, 9 times out of 10 is the one that's gonna walk out with a number. From my experience, I know that to be a fact. Crazy summer, but
they say it all the time. I don't need a man. I want a man. In the reverse, that's what women are communicating in the quote unquote independent aspect. So, like you're saying, in the reverse, man walking in, I don't need a woman. I don't need anything. I'm just here to relax, enjoy the atmosphere. But on the off chance that this works out, all right.
And there's so many rules, of dating that can be applied to the music business because it really is a partner. Like when you do like a partnership, it really is like a marriage. Like when you're collaborating and working on a song, it really is kind of like dating in a sense, right? It really is. That's why I implore artists that when they do these collabs and everything, I said, fam, are you sure you want to collab with this artist? You're looking for a collab to get your name out there, but does it have to be this artist? Like, what's the benefit of working with this artist? Are you thinking about collab? If you can't imagine yourself doing an album with this artist in the next 4 or 5 years, then why are you collaborating with this artist? And if you really bring it down to its core, it's cloud chasing. You're just doing this, hey, let me build my name off of your name. And then you wonder why the relationship turns sour, or you guys will speak to each other for a couple of years and then you run into each other somewhere else. And then you wonder why it's awkward. It's because it's like, it's not being genuine here. Am I making sense?
Most definitely. Keep going. I apologize. I got to step away for just a brief second. But I'll be right back. I can still hear you.
Do you think? So, T Jizzle, let me know if you have any questions in the chat. But I want to go into this whole thing about reciprocity and why it's so important. Because if you don't have that mindset of trying to give first, just for the sake of giving first, it's almost in the sense of having a mindset of, I've got it so good, I can give you something and I don't even need anything back. That person who rolls with that mindset is in a much better position in the long run than someone who's looking to extract something from everyone. I get it if you don't have the budget. I get if you don't have the resource and the team. I get all that. But from my experience, because I'm always looking to give first because I don't need anything, it's been easy for me to build a team. It was easy for me to get a manager. It was easy for me to find a live band. It was easy for me to find a producer. I found 3 or 4 producers. When I was an artist, I had 3 or 4 producers who were just like, nah, you sure I can pay? No, don't worry about it. I got you. It's the same thing with you as an artist. Is if you think about providing the value first based on your skill set, because I don't want you guys to get into this thing of like, you meet like the, I don't know, junior I don't know, financial officer for, I'm just making a position at Sony, and you're like, hey, I can do the Excel sheets, and you know nothing about SAP. Don't do that, because you're gonna look,
Don't put yourself in a position,
yeah,
right?
you're gonna look a
No,
little
don't
crazy.
oversell the hype.
Don't oversell, because if you say, oh, I can do SAP, and he goes, really? You could get yourself a job if you can really do it. But if you really can't do it, that's going to be your last time. And trust me, I've done it myself as well while I oversaw myself. Just don't do that. Yeah, so I want to, yeah.
I'm gonna say just speaking in that situation. So if we think back to like radio, what labels used to try to get artists to do all the time. It's like, listen, we got to spend this money on radio promotion, but at the same time, we got 5 other artists that we're competing against. How do we get you to add value? Let's do something that's going to benefit that other artists may not do. You start doing radio drops. You know what I'm saying? Something basic like, yo, we got to hit these 50 different stations across the nation, and based on our current time and budget, there's no way we're going to hit every one of these. Send these drops out, and boom, they'll start running stuff for you. But artists don't want to do the drops. It makes no sense. You want them to do something for you. You don't have the money. The label has the money. The label saying, do this because this will get us favor. Yes, we have a relationship, but you're a new X, Y, and Z. So we need to get you in the spin. This will get you in the conversation. As an artist, if you treat each relationship like that, as he said, giving value, what can I assist you with that is not a pressure-based situation? Okay, what I have is my craft. You're a videographer and you want to shoot this video for me? Cool. How can I help you on the back end? Yes, the video is a resume builder, but what else could I do for you that would assist you? Could I do a drop for you that could potentially populate in front of your videos? You know what I'm saying? Or at the end of your videos, things of that nature.
I want to get into that. You made a really good point. You said, if you want to shoot the video for me, that's cool, but what else can I do to provide value for you? That's how you build a team. I hear artists all the time say, I'm looking for a team, I'm looking for a team. You have to build the team. The team doesn't just come to you.
Mm-hmm.
So let me give you guys a little insight. So you guys know we have a project manager, A&R, I have my business manager, we have an engineer, we have 2 producers, we have another producer out in South Africa, we have someone that's kind of doing business advising and business coaching for us, right? So Room 380 is built into like this actual machine, right? How I've been able to build this is because I am looking to help the people around me first. It's been easy for someone to say, no, I'm rolling with you. So case in point, when we were working with Sans, when he was here in the States, because I liked his music, I just wanted to make sure that I was able to provide him an opportunity to go do something. It wasn't even something of like, oh, I want you to be part of my team. It was that was when him, Maddie, and Nico and himself and Jay Daniel. And by the way, this is Maddie's shirt. Make sure you go to MaddieMars.com to buy the shirt.
That's fresh.
My whole thing was, what can I do? What can me and Rivers do to put these kids, because that really was that long ago. It's crazy. To put these kids in a position where they could be successful as songwriters and artists. And
hey,
when I
shout out to the first time you ever sounded old on the podcast.
Say again.
Said shout out to the first time you ever sounded old on the podcast.
But when I did that, I didn't have to call them, say, hey, can you come to the studio? They just showed up on their own because I was trying to provide them with an opportunity. I didn't need a group of songwriters. I didn't need a group of songwriters underneath the imprint. I just wanted to help them out because I was like, well, I'm going to go find my own opportunity anyway. So let me provide this with you guys since you guys are working with us. And because I've been able to do that, I've been able to get producers to collaborate in Berlin and South Africa and Vancouver and get engineers and everything else, because I'm as selfish as it sounds, Hanz Nobe is going to get his, period. I'm going to find opportunities all the time and I'm going to keep pushing. But if you're rolling with me, it has to make sense. So with our project manager over here, Urban Waves. That was the first thing. It was like, hey man, how is this going to help you with what you have going on? And when he told me his goals, okay, cool. Let's see if we can make that make sense. And so when we did, he was like, oh, let's go. It's not about me and me saying like, hi, look what I've done. It's like, yo, no, that's why I keep saying focus on the team. And I've said this in many different videos. Like that video I posted on our two-year anniversary on May 18th. You guys have made this thing build up to what it is. Not me. I may be the face, but it's you guys that's doing the work. I'm the one over here trying to like make sure everyone is straight and make sure people get paid on time. And hold on, let me chop off these drums. And I may be I think I may be a big cog in the wheel, but I'm still part of the machine. I'm not like the thing. So when you're trying to build your team, whether you're trying to get a manager, lawyer, well, not a lawyer, because they're going to be expensive no matter what.
I mean, don't get me wrong, you need one. I mean, but there are pro bono projects out there. I mean, you can Google search lawyers who do different things for free. You just got to get out there and research.
You can, and I've had some pro bono work. Shout out to the lawyer that did that for us. We were doing a production deal with between the artist and another producer out in Denver. That didn't work out, but a lawyer's she gives us a good rate. She's not cheap, but in regards to building a team, that's the mindset you got to have. It's what's in it for them. No one's going to work hard for you if it's just you boosting your ego. It has to be something for them. And the leader, before you get there, the leader is not the person in the front. Is not the person, I'm sorry, in the back. Yeah, this is my game. It's the person's in the front and say, hey, we're gonna go this way, and the one that's making sure everyone is straight. And if he needs to go in the back and get the weakest link, he's willing to go put in the extra. Like I've stayed up to 3-4 o'clock in the morning trying to make sure that somebody that's working on one of our projects knew how to do this correctly. Like I've done stuff like hired a consultant to go talk to one of our team members. Hey, this is how you do this. I've done that because that's what's part of building a team. And if you're not willing to do that, then you're not going to have a team. And whether you want to look at Nipsey Hussle, whether you want to look at Taylor Swift, I don't care what side of the spectrum, all these artists that looked at Drake, for instance, Jay-Z, LeBron, or whatever, they have these great teams. They put the team first. That's how they're able to get built up. Kevin Hart talks about it. LeBron paid for college degrees. That's what it's about. And if you're not doing that, then you're not going to be able to build a team, especially if you don't have any funds.
Sure. Hey, shout out to that situation you're saying about LeBron, because I was just watching a video where Shaq said he did the same thing with regards to his master's program.
Yeah.
And paid for, I believe he said 12 friends to basically go get a master's degree, which brings me to that point. If your first team is who? The people you came up with, the friends you had, middle school, high school, college, whatever, then you have to take that same mentality of why were we friends? What benefit was it? What were you doing? Well, you were friends just in the most casual sense because you had like interests and you did things to benefit each other and you did it organically. If one person liked the TV show, y'all talked about that TV show. If one person liked the record and you knew your homie would be into this, you told your homie about this record. It's the same thing I tell indie artists all the time. It's like, you complain to the market area because people don't want to share your music, but they'll share a new Jay-Z, Beyonce, Drake, or whatever record. But you can't be upset at their interests. If your music does not align to their interests, then they have no reason to share. People say, well, it's free. No, it's not. There's this thing called social currency. Their reputation, when they share your music, if it does not match up tonally to what people have an expectation of, will now be shot because people won't take their recommendations. It's the same thing with friends. Your friend recommends you some nonsense. You be like, bro, what is this? Y'all still gonna be homies, but at the same time, you're gonna be like, yeah, I don't really listen to such and such when it comes to this. We on two different wavelengths when it comes to this type of situation. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you're building your team, you have to take to that same mindset. Because even when you ask for something as simple as a manager, you're asking a person to stop whatever it is that they're doing, or at least a good component of what they're doing, and now manage the circumstances that are you. And 9 times out of 10, you're not looking for 4 or 5 managers to play 4 or 5 roles. You're looking for one person to basically put on several hats. So in that situation, you have to say, well, how can I benefit you? Because the benefit just can't be your music, because the concept of the benefit being your music means that there must be some financial situation. But we've already established you don't have a budget, which means that you're not making money on your music yet. So it means that you have to have some form of a symbiotic relationship in a different capacity. Either you have the same type of hustle, the same type of nature. At minimum, they know you're not going to quit. They know you're going to learn through each instance. You're going to build together brick by brick. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to wake up the next day and be like, yeah, man, we hit our first 10 million. Now they talking about signing the Interscope and wait, I'm not on the line, or they talking about going with Capitol Records or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to put yourself in these situations to where people believe in you. That's the thing about teams. It's like teams only work because there's some form of an inspirational behavior and the understanding that this person is going to do the role. But it's not just that they're going to wake up and do the job. Anybody can wake up and do the job. They're going to wake up and they're going to do the damn best that they can every time they step to that plate, because they want to see us collectively win. Yeah, that may be the captain. I may be the second string, or I may be, like you said, the 6th man on the team. I may not even get off the bench most cases. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, we're here. When it's time to play that role, we going to play that role. And when we're not playing that role, we're looking around to figure out what can be done with regards to the role. See, artists don't understand. You are the boss. You're asking for a manager thinking that you're going to a 9 to 5 and somebody's going to give you a set schedule of what you need to do. In reality, it's completely reversed. You're an entrepreneur. You have a series of managers who are managing, let's say, logistical situations pertaining to the things you're doing on day to day. If you're on stage and they're watching a show and then someone else comes up about booking you, okay, if your personal manager's there, he's going to pull in the information in correlation to the person who books your shows to see what this looks like within the next whatever time that this is getting done. But at the same time, each person is playing a role. And when you come off stage and everything dies down in the back space, okay, is it time to talk business? Or are we just going to let everything die down for the moment? And in 2 hours, we'll address the new circumstances. But while we're addressing these circumstances, yo, what you need? You just had an incredible show. You thirsty? You hungry? What's going on? What we need to do? Where the tech writer at? You know what I'm saying? It's them circumstances of how to make things work cohesively. It's not just about playing different roles or being able to put on different hats. It's about doing it voluntarily, being effective, and it just being a natural behavior because you want to make things work cohesively. You want that bond to be there. That's when you hear a lot of these different managers who be like, yeah, I was such and such. We were here, did this, and this. And I all of a sudden had to say, is it going to be my marriage or is it going to be this relationship? You know what I'm saying? It gets that serious. Can't speak the name on but it gets that serious, and people have to understand, like, you have to have that type of relationship, because when you're building a business to a level like an Elon Musk or whatever, you know what I'm saying? You're basically incorporating yourself. If you're married already, you're making a second marriage because this is your commitment. It's like how people say that goofy ass stuff about my work wife or my work husband. This is quite literally that same behavior, but in the sense that you're not married to them, but you're married to the business, the structure that you guys are all creating. These are your children, so to speak, or your brothers and sisters, however you kind of create that mindset. You have to cohesively work together for one common goal because it's genetically ingrained in you to be this.
Yeah. You said a couple things that I like. And I want to make sure that like I said, I'm very big on making this platform like a go-to for artists to go like, okay, this is how I do this. So in regards to picking that relationship, you got to ask questions. And this is why I say that you have to be very, very careful about asking any and everyone to be a manager, because you really can put yourself in a very bad position.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of leads me to my next point. There was a question that was asked a couple of weeks ago on my TikTok. Someone was like, how do you navigate the music business? So I'm going to go into the second half of the video that you guys may not have seen. So my TikTok, the full 3-minute video, but there's another half there where I explain about the situation. And I'll give context in regards to why you want to be careful by asking who you want to be your manager.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a situation where I was with an artist and we posted a picture together because it looks like I was going to get on his album, right? I was going to produce for his album. It was looking pretty good. About 3 weeks later, or whenever, another artist and his manager decided they want to meet up with me. So we chopped it up. It was cool. And this is back home in Houston. And everything else was cool and looked like it was about to move forward. So I posted a picture of me and the artist. The manager took the picture and they posted it on the artist's IG, and then I reposted it on mine. So a week or so later, because I'm good about following up with people, followed up with the first artist, and I can't get a response. He's not responding to text messages. Later, he's not responding to phone calls. He's not responding to emails. He's not responding to DMs. I'm like, okay, what gives? So his project comes out, and of course, I'm nowhere on there, right? As far as like my production, anything like that. So like, okay, that's kind of whatever. So I run to that artist at Warehouse Live. It was someone else's event. I run to the artist at Warehouse Live, but I see the artist and his manager, not the second artist, but the first artist. See that artist and his manager. And the artist is like, yo, what's going on? How you doing? And he keeps moving. I was just like, damn, okay, well, what happened? Well, the manager pulled him to the side and had a conversation with me. He said that basically, well, we won't keep the buck with you. We don't rock with you because the people you rock with. And I was like, who are you talking about? I get up, I go to this studio, that studio, or I'm home, or I'm out of town. That's it. Well, it's certain people. So I started dropping names. I'm just like, you talking about Piper? You talking about Hash? Like I started drawing like, oh, who are you talking about? No. I said, fam, just tell me who. Like you making it like don't
Difficult.
give me this. Yeah, don't be difficult. Tell me who it is. Because if it's this crew, then okay, I'll just take the L because I'm not leaving them because they're the one that gave me this opportunity. So if it's like that, I'm rolling with them. He was like, it's some of the artists. I'm like, oh, fam, who? I work with, I have artists in St. Louis, right. I have artists, I'm like, who? So he finally tells me the artist. I'm like, okay, like I'm his manager contacted me, they were in town and they wanted me, like, what's the big, like, they want me to work in the project, what's the big deal? Well, there was a situation that happened, I won't get, anyway, long story short, I find out later at a drunken conversation at a weekly spot that a lot of us in Houston used to go to. Somebody basically,
Said the mixers.
Yeah. Basically what happened was artist A artist A got into a fist fight with manager B in Miami. And this happened like a week before that picture was posted. Now, I didn't know that happened. There was no way I was going to know. None of us are big time with that. That was on a hip hop DX Shade Room. None of us was big enough for any of us to know. So I'm just like, well, how would I have known that? And it's very petty.
All of a sudden, clients turn into ops.
Right. And I told her, I said, fam, if I'm not home, I'm in this studio, or I'm on a plane back to Atlanta working with these people or visiting my girl. That's it. And so in regards to that, artists, managers, A&Rs, producers, or whatever that are watching this, there's a high probability you're going to run into that, or you've already run to that, or you're dealing with it now. How I navigated that situation was I said, hey, look, listen, I understand that. I can still work with you, and that has nothing to do with what we have. You hired me, or you were working with me to work on a record. This has nothing to do with the brand. This has nothing to do like I come by myself. like if it's like op like that and you want to be like that, that's fine. But just understand like how. And I was very frank. I said, fam, you gotta understand how this makes you look. So I told him, and I was kind of a little upset. So I told him, I said, fam, if I had pull and I told people how you were being, that could look bad on you.
Bro, you keep jumping for some reason, like your screen keeps jumping.
Yeah, because I keep hitting this.
Yeah, that's passion talking, man.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was a little upset. Well, that, I mean, that, you know, because I'm full-time music production, like you're messing with my money. So in that situation, I say, hey, listen, that could get very bad. I understand where you're coming from, but you understand, like, I'm neutral in this. If you feel that passion about who I work with in that regard, because I'm not gang or nothing like that, cool. But you understand this makes you look a certain type of way. I appreciate the time, but I'm good because it was like that's way too petty for me. And I think it was pretty obvious I wasn't like the guy lives in Miami. You feel me? Like it's like I live in Houston, the guy lives in Miami. And it was one of those situations where I just like, okay, cool. So artists, if you ever come across a situation like that, just remain professional. But that's going to happen because we do live in a business where there are situations like that happen.
Culture.
Yeah, it's street code. I don't care what genre of music you're in, especially if you're in dancehall. It's definitely gonna happen, right? So I'm out here in LA. I'm already hearing stories like I think Tank told a story on his podcast. He said that he was in the E League and he was playing ball against a guy, and he was talking mad shit to him. Like he was just like, "What up?" You know, hitting him up, like laying the ball on him and anything, and getting aggressive. He said the next day he tried out for Stomp the Yard and come to find out that the guy he's playing aggressive with was casting director for the movie. Like, that's going to happen. You're talking to this girl, but it's the ex of the, you know, DJ of this touring DJ. And now they don't want to let the touring DJ said, no, you can't let him in VIP. You're going out somewhere and you're like, oh, this is my people. But because this person did something that this person 2 years ago, all of a sudden you're just like, why can't I ever get time? Every time I book time at the studio, it gets deleted from the schedule. Like stuff like that happens because we do work in an industry of very passionate people.
No, you think about the whole Nicki Minaj and Kanye West situation after he did the Cardi B record. You know what I'm saying? That situation kind of went left. So this is like, wait a minute, it's Kanye, it's Cardi. I get that you guys have this situation, but Kanye not living that life no more. Kanye will technically never live that life. We're just around individuals, you know what I'm saying, because of the culture itself. But that's also like I was watching the thing on the baby where he's talking about I can't remember what I can't remember what festival it was, but basically just did a record with Meg, and then he's like, yeah, I ain't gonna believe who I got back here. I'll give you whoever you can guess who I got back here, I'll give you $1 million. Then all of a sudden he pulls out Tory Lanez, and this is like, oh, okay. So it's like some people are like that where they be on that, nah, I can't fool with you. And not even on street, it's like you said, just passion. They feel some type of way because the situation happened. And then some people are complete opposite where they extremely petty and just don't care about the situation. They like, look, money is money. It is gonna be what it's gonna be. You know,
that does happen. I've been in that situation where I'm just like, and it's like, yeah, I know what happened with you guys, but he's okay, get your money. And I'm never gonna stand between someone and their money because I understand, and that's part of understanding the game that you're playing. You are playing the game. I think I was just at an event and a guy named Gino, who's a songwriter. Google him whenever you guys get a chance. He said you are playing the game, whether you want to accept it or not. And I think that's the issue. Is a lot of people. That's why they call it the music game. It is a game, and if you don't want to play, then you can bow out gracefully. But there are people who take this stuff personal, like, oh, you're wearing here, like I'm wearing Matty Mars' shirt. You know, he could make someone upset and someone could recognize the merchandise and say, oh, well, I'm not working. No, you can't let him in. And as petty as that sounds, right? As much as it's easy to say, like, well, that's not being professional, you're right. There's no disagreement there. However, if someone's going to act like that, then it's my responsibility to handle it the best way I can, which is to be professional. Okay, understand, cool. Well, we're going to go this way. Because unless you are just being completely blackballed in this business, there's 1,000 ways to get to where you need to get to.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of getting to, there was something else that we said we were going to talk about with regards to the managed situation. I remember project management. So I told a couple of people my take on the situation.
Is this when you expose one of our projects that you're am I gonna start have you sign NDAs when you work on these projects?
No. You know, I'm a vault in those situations. I'm just speaking to them with regards to something that can help them before they go out here and start saying, I need. So I had posted with regards to artists saying they need a manager. It's like, listen, if you figure out how to scale your business like a traditional entrepreneur, you'll know exactly when you need a manager because you're going to be busy AF in the sense that you cannot manage your own scale. But the problem is, before most artists even get to that stage, is that they don't apply this one simple skill set called project management, i.e., one simple tool, a system that will actually allow you to manage these things, some form of a database. For example, we use Asana. You know what I'm saying? But there's plenty of stuff out from Asana, the Monday.com, the Trello. You know what I'm saying? Square has it, Wix has it attached to their website. But artists have to get into a behavior of utilizing these tools that allow them to, to manage these circumstances that they say they need a manager for. Because if you put this stuff in paper in a system that allows you to categorically set things accordingly, here's my situation for an album coming out. Here's my situation for shows. Here's my situation for magazine, radio, and interviews coming up. You can actually really look at it and actually say, am I actually as busy as I say I am to say I need someone to drop their life to come manage mine? And am I making enough money with the quote unquote busy situations that I say I am to financially fund this person? Because if you're not in a city, this is my other gripe with artists when I try to tell them, hey, I don't understand who told you this nonsense, but let me help you out. If you're not in a position where you're good already, and I don't mean through your music, I mean just regular general day-to-day life, if you don't have a high income skill set to put into your music, it could be production, engineering, if you want to stay in the industry itself. If you want to work outside of the industry and put money in, that's perfectly fine. But if you're not good in a normal day-to-day basis, you're not going to put yourself or lend yourself into a conversation where someone's going to think that working with you at the capacity that you want to work is viable, because you have to remember they have bills also. So if you can't make them believe that what they're about to do makes absolute sense and it's not going to disrupt their livelihood, you know what I'm saying? And it's just going to only add on to, you're going to have a problem finding a manager because something has to make sense. Either your music has to be selling, the merch has to be selling. I mean, because again, mind you, we know people aren't buying music in the same capacity of 90s to mid 2000s in the sense that it's now streaming culture. Right. So it has to be a gateway to your merch, has to be a gateway to your shows. It has to be a gateway to something that's making sense, i.e., in this case, dollars. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, you got to be good on the back end until that makes sense. That's like I remember hearing about Trinidad James every time he worked in McDonald's in Atlanta until that record took off. But the difference is he had something that had him all right until it took off. And once he hit that level, you don't hear about him working at McDonald's no more. Mind you, you don't hear his music like that. I mean, no disrespect. I don't want nobody thinking I'm taking a shot or nothing. But the principle is he's found his audience. He has his niche. He's doing what he needs to do to maintain. You know what I'm saying? Just like so many other artists. Like we were talking about the video with Akon, you understand, where he's saying 10 million records are uploaded a day. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't say this in context to America. He said 10 million records. That can be across a multitude of platforms, a multitude of countries, a multitude of continents.
Knowing Akon, I'm pretty sure he means worldwide.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So it's like in that situation, if 10 million, if we just say on a global scale, 10 million songs are being updated daily, 365 nonstop, that means you got a lot of noise to cut through, which means you don't have the luxury of saying, well, I don't want to be like this or I don't want to be like that, because the systems are already working against you. They're looking to find things that correlate because they are becoming the new DJs. Not saying that DJs are getting pushed out the door or anything. Again, don't nobody taking shots. But what I'm saying is when it comes to these playlist cultures and these circumstantial behaviors, these systems are utilizing algorithms to say what sounds like, what works together, what pairs like fine wine, good cheese, and crackers, what is going to make the most sense when I play this Indie record and then I need something to follow up. If I play this Alicia Keys record, can I play this SZA record also? Will this work? No, they thumbs down that, okay, they didn't like that record. So what can I put in that they're gonna like that's comparing to what's playing? You have to figure out how to make your own unique sound, but at the same time, from a metadata standpoint, it has to read as if it can work with this particular record. No different than collaborating with an artist. You drop a beat, you be like, hey, I want such and such on it. But is that artist going to agree to be on that record because they feel like they fit the way you see them? Or are they going to say, hey, I appreciate your consideration, but nah, that's not for me. The reason why I say it is because I was watching an interview with Nicki Minaj earlier where she was saying that exact same thing about Eminem, where she was appreciative of him because when she sent an email with a record, he sent a response back respectfully saying, hey, this is dope, but this isn't for me. And she's saying, whereas a lot of artists may not have even had the respect to do that, the love, the appreciation of saying, hey, let's find something different. You know what I'm saying? Same to the same point where you're saying, dude all of a sudden ghosted you out of a situation that you didn't even understand. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we got to get ourselves as people, as a culture, as an art form going into the business in the mindset of what business actually is. And it starts with, before you ask for this person, what tools can I use to say, this is what I'm doing so I can show this person this is what my life looks like and this is why I need you.
Yeah.
And they can say, yeah, man, heck yeah, I definitely want to add value because I can see you can add value to me. You're the type of artist I'm looking for. You're not the I got to build you up like a workshop. This isn't a Build-A-Bear situation. You're already the bear. I just need to poke and let it roll. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think you pretty much hit it on the head, man. I think in regards to that, we definitely covered our basis, and yeah, I like I said, I hope you guys get something out of this. I hope it doesn't come off like we're trying to beat a dead horse, but we see it all the time, and a lot of things really can be fixed by just communicating and just understanding that, provide value without looking for anything back. I don't care what interview, whether it's you watch a Post Malone, whether you're looking at, whomever, they all have the same story, which is they came in very humble, trying to provide value. And if you can add a communication to that, I promise you're going to be head and shoulders above a lot of people who are trying to break in. So that's it. What, you think we got it? We think we covered everything. Can we move from this? I feel like we've covered this like 3 or 4 different times, but I want to make sure we get everything out of this.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There's always going to be something. I mean, in every direction, as the generation changes, there's always going to be something new. I got one that's a food for thought. And this might end up turning into a situation for another episode, but you know how rappers always talk about that grit, that ability to write, and how they have so much pride in it. But at the same time, you don't have a budget because you're not a street artist, you're not a gangster. So why don't these same rappers who have this incredible pen start writing R&B or pop records? Start joining these writer guilds, start popping up at these writer workshops. That keeps you in the industry, gets you money, gets you credit, and puts you in a situation no different than a traditional songwriter. But you're working tandem. You know what I'm saying? Because you're networking, you're communicating, you're building credibility, you're building your own career, and the fact that you're writing records, and then you're only becoming better because your pen is getting better as you're writing for other people, and your name is coming up in the conversation in that same premise. But I think different. So
no, it's like I said before, and I've said it again and again. It's a mindset. Whether you want to call it the hustle mentality, the Mamba mentality, whatever. It's a mindset.
Shouts out to you. R.I.P. Kobe.
Yeah, and his birthday passed not too long, or is he getting ready to pass? When is Kobe's birthday? He's my favorite player, but I never really care about when his birthday was.
I'm not gonna lie to you. There's only maybe 10
August
birthdays in
23rd.
this world that I pay attention to.
August 23rd.
No disrespect to anyone.
Yeah, no disrespect. Again, one of my I don't even know what Malcolm X's birthday is. He's one of my idols. But anyway,
Don't cancel us.
No, I'll take it there in a minute. Respectfully, of course, to all parties, but like I'll take it there. And
I remember his inspiration.
Well, no, it just, I mean, if I have to break down what Malcolm X meant and what he was trying to do, and it wasn't his birthday, and it still comes off offensive, then that means you're doing that to yourself. I make it as plain black and white as I possibly can, pun intended. And if you still get offended by someone who was, I mean, actually contributing something positive to the world, I don't care what perspective you have. But anyway,
it is.
Yeah, shout out to T Jizzle. TJ, I think one of these days, man, I keep saying this, I think we're just gonna bring you on. Matter of fact, that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna bring you on. I'm a DM you and ask when you want to come on and have you speak it. Yeah, because it's time. But take care of yourselves, guys, gals, if you're listening. Just make sure you, like I said, you communicate, provide value without looking for anything back. Like I said, study that reciprocity thing. And like I said, you don't need anything. You actually have everything you need. You just want to see who you can work with. And I think you should be more interested in them. And if you even want to work with them rather than they just working with you, because people are not check boxes. All right.
Study that law of attraction.
Yep, that is it. This is episode 39, Capitalism in our podcast. Episode 40 will not be next weekend. It's going to be the weekend after. Waze decides he wants to be a family man. After all, I don't know why. He decides he wants to have a personal life. This is music business. No one has a personal life.
Oh,
but anyway,
every once in a blue moon, when the stars align.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll catch up with you guys the weekend afterwards. So that would be, what weekend would that be? I want to make sure. So not October 2nd, but October 9th.
Like the 8th?
No, 9th. October 9th. We'll catch back up with you guys. Again, much love. Take care of y'all selves. Yeah.
Don't forget, we gotta start dropping them socials. Dropping the socials, man. We gotta get like these YouTubers out here.
Go ahead and drop your socials. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. Most definitely, you can hit me up. On Urban Waves everywhere: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and most definitely check us out on the website room380.com. If you want to book with us, rock with us, we're here for you. Download them resources and let's make it happen.
Yes, sir. All right, y'all. Much love. Take care. I'm gonna go eat dinner. Much love. Peace.